What up, YouTube? It's artisanmc. If you can hear me, press 1 in the chat so we can get this rolling pretty quickly. Testing the setup, so I need to know before I get going. Twerking a dead horse. That's a good title. I'm gonna hold on to that till Sunday. Damn it. All right, you can hear me? Cool. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I want to make sure you guys could hear me. At homesick today, not feeling too well. Fucking alerts, dude. Not feeling too well. So I was home yesterday. Took off today too because I wasn't sick and tired and sick. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. Yeah. You ever have one of those days or one of those times in life where you wake up in the morning and you start getting the lay of the land, you start getting adjusted to being awake and coming back from whatever dream or nightmare you were having, and you're opening your eyes to the world and seeing how it feels today, what you may have went through the day before and what you're stepping into today. And for at least the last couple of days, last day exclusively, I've been chilling in the land of Westeros. I was going back through and binging on Game of Thrones. And yesterday, since I was laid up in the bed, shoulder hurting, leg hurting, I just had it playing all day. I really did. I just put Game of Thrones on and it was just playing all day. And really into the story and the world that was crafted in that show. And really enjoying the fact, since I'm up to season 4 now, the end of season 4 actually, to where, great, my lip bleed. Story, character, development, and the journey of a character was actually important. Where here's a whole world fleshed out, pretty much fleshed out in a television sense, to where you go on this ride with characters and years have passed in their life and you've seen some of what they've been through, not just 1 or 2 characters. It's at least 12, 15 characters that you're following at one time. Everybody gets a bit of development. I'm sitting back for the last couple of days watching that show, thinking about how much time and energy was spent by George R.R. Martin of writing these characters and making these stories and making this history in the world that I completely understand. As soon as I realize what world I'm in, I understand the lore, I understand the history, and not because I read a bunch of history books in it, because the characters understand the history and the world that they're in. Now, from watching that all day yesterday and being really interested in the story of the Mountain and the Hound and all of that stuff going on with the White Walkers coming south. When I woke up this morning, I was going to finish the episode I stopped on last night. And I didn't. I knew that there was something else I needed to do. And the thing I needed to do was watch SheHulk. Because yesterday I consciously did not want to watch it. I consciously didn't. I was kind of over it. I didn't want to watch the show. And once I actually did open my eyes a bit and turn on the show. I can tell you from going from being in Westeros to being here in MCU LA, it is utterly fucking disappointing to watch this show. It really is. Now, admittedly, there are two different types of shows. They are two different types of shows. One is a medieval drama, right? Another is a satirical superhumans, the Marvel Universe, with a thin veil of a lawyer on top of it. But what stands out to me is that the person who made these characters in Game of Thrones and in the TV show actually took the characters seriously. The person who wrote this show of SheHulk does not take this character serious at all, does not take the world serious at all, even when making a comedy of the world and the character and the people in it. I could have had somebody shit in my mouth this morning rather than watch this. And I wasn't looking forward to it. I said it the last time that this show is not a comedy because it's not funny. The comedy, for the most part, in this show is the fact that somebody, this person, these people got to make this show. That is the fucking comedy in it. That these types of individuals with such a lack of innate interest in this world at all got to turn around and make a show in the MCU and turn that character into the tropiest shit stain of a whiny chick I can think of. To say this episode was not good would be overstating. The episode in and of itself was just an episode. It's like Marchand noodles. It's like eating top ramen. It's just what it is. Okay, it's just what it is. Or for a better example, say it's like eating top ramen in prison. And you ain't got enough stuff to make a spread. It's just noodles, nigga. It's just noodles. Watery, salty, not really fulfilling, but you can put it in your stomach. That's why I said it could have been somebody shitting in my mouth. Same effect. Now, I'm trying to be a bit calm and rational in thinking of this because I literally just finished watching the episode. Like 30 minutes ago, I finished watching the episode. Laying in my bed, I watched this episode. I finished it, got all the way through the credits, and I'm sitting there laying in bed thinking, like, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck did I just watch? Why did I watch that? fuck it, I'm gonna go live about it. And I laid in bed and started the StreamYard, set up the StreamYards for 30 minutes, and then just sat back and laid in bed and just like, I just turned off my TV today. I can't watch anything else today right now because that shit is just disappointing. Now, y'all have questions, and I see some people in there. Shout out to my cousin Dale up in here. What up, Dale? Said he was waiting to hear my take on number 3, and Beastly was saying he just finished the episode this morning. I had what I call a popcorn thrown at the screen moment. Look, I'm sure my boy has something to say about this, and he's going to ask me about it. So I figured I would go live since I had some time. I was feeling a little better to be on a camera and felt like showing my face. But we 3 episodes in to some of the most cringe worthy, I can't believe I'm watching this shit television that the MCU has ever fucking produced. Ever fucking produced. And all I can keep thinking of doing, if you want the Game of Thrones reference, is I watch the credits to remember these people's names, to see how many executive producers are on this piece of shit. Who are the names of the people who produced this? Because I need to know. I need to know so I don't watch another fucking thing that they ever do. Ever. That if I find out that their name is attached to it, I immediately hard pass that shit. That's all I do. That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting there going through the credits like Arya Stark laying by the fire at night, reading the list of the names of the people that she wants to murk out. This is not, to me, an MCU show. So what happens in the MCU universe, make no mistake about it, it is in the MCU universe. It's not an MCU show. This is not what I have come to expect or what I want to see the MCU turn into. Now, I said it before. This is... Oh, did I get blocked again? Let me see what's going on. Let me find out that YouTube putting the hate on me right now. 1 second, you guys. I just need to know. YouTube put... Nope, still there. Okay, just checking. Just checking. Because it happened before, now it's happening again. What I've come to expect out of the MCU is not this. Even though I've said for a while that this phase 4 of the MCU is phase feminism, I kind of thought we could just ride the shit out, get to phase 5, and be done with it. And for the most part, I've been proven kind of correct on that. I don't want to say the right and wrong of it, but that view has been substantiated with every character that has been introduced and every show that has been introduced. All females, all the time. You're looking down the road, you can see a signpost a mile off, right? Now, the correctness comes in finding out what Marvel's next 10-year plan is, and 10-year plan is to end this phase 4 as quick as fucking possible, which it ends with Black Panther, Wakanda forever. If you don't understand that joke, you need to watch Shoutouts and learn how to read titles. Now, since this has been such a loser for them, this phase has been such a colossal, diverse piece of shit loser for them. They're ending it quickly. They're ending it in November. This phase is over in November. Now, where that might make some people happy, give you a sigh of relief, like, oh, the end is nigh. No. Because if you look at the slate for phase 5, it's more of the same shit. Just bigger and bigger levels of prominence for the characters. Which means more shit. I talked about this episode a few days ago when they started hyping up the fact that Megan Thee Stallion was in this show. Now, I kind of laughed about it at first because I'm thinking, I already know, and this is fucking cringeworthy entertainment off the bat, off the rip, saying that. The fact that you promoted the show for this week off of that is cringeworthy in and of itself. I mean, I assume all of y'all is geeks in here. So, by a show of the damn numbers, put a 1 in the chat if Megan Thee Stallion made you watch this fucking episode. Or put a 2 in the chat if you don't know why the fuck you watched this episode anyway. Just asking. Just asking. Because that was no reason for me to watch the show. It was more of a reason not to watch the show than it was to watch the show. And I was already going to watch the shit. And not just because, oh shit, I'm not into it. I'm watching MCU shows. That's what I do. I didn't enjoy it, but this is what I was doing. This is the job. And like Ned Stark, yeah, I ended up getting my head cut off with this shit. This, for one, it's a base ass episode. You could see worse. This episode is actually worse than a CW episode or something. You know why? Because the CW episode at least pops. It's at least connected with the youth audience. It keeps things moving pretty quickly. This just looks like theater. Bad high school theater. Maybe college level, I don't know, because college level I wasn't interested in the theater. I wasn't going to watch their shows. But I know they took it a little bit more seriously, because college theater would be your springboard into Hollywood. Right. The way I'm seeing this actress, Tatiana Maslany, acting as Jennifer Walters in this show is not funny. Not in the least bit. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. And the more she keeps looking into the camera, the more I keep thinking, what the fuck is wrong with one of her eyes? Do you got contacts in? Why do you stop looking at me? Fuck. It's like really off-putting. Really off-putting. Now, her portrayal of Jennifer Walters for this show, kooky, sometimes stammering, always cutting people off, snarky, waiting for the opportunity to talk shit about some dude. Not entertaining. Not entertaining at all. And I cannot blame that on the actress. Can't. I can blame it on the director because that comes down to direction. And I can also blame it on the writer because it comes down to what's on the page. The writer writes what's on the page of how they think the character is. The actor reads that portrayal and puts ideas into how they think the character would behave and how to embody this written work. And the director actually gives you direction on getting to that performance. And you watch that shit, do you think anybody knows the fuck they're doing down the line? Writer, director, actor, do you think anybody knew what the fuck they were doing? Do you think any one of those three people in that line took it seriously? There's something that you do when you're watching like big budget Hollywood movies, right? It's something I do at least. The number of, right? Now we all know some executive producers and some producers by name because their movies have their freaking stamp on it. They're the executive producer and that's it. You see their stamp all over it, right? When you see a movie that has more than two, I'd say just push it, say three executive producers, you probably know it's dog shit. You probably do. You know why? It comes back to a old colloquialism. Being too many chefs spoil the soup. If you have one person over a pot making something, good or bad, you know who did it. It's them. They can fix what they didn't do right, tweak it, do whatever they need to do. When you got 6 people standing around a pot throwing their ingredients into it, you're going to get some shit. Because everybody got a different take. And all of that stuff does not work together. The flavors, the taste, no. Because everybody got different things. You got to do your shit over there, and we got to do our shit over here. You watched this episode. Maybe you watched the credits. If you saw the end credits scene, you had to have watched the credits. Count how many executive producers you see on this. And who's the first one? The first one is the one I told you about before that I was looking into and kind of watching. Victoria Alonso. Victoria Alonso sits under Kevin Feige. It's a Kevin Feige production. But who's actually making the day-to-day decisions on this shit? Victoria Alonso. Every cringe moment that you've seen out of Phase 4, go back and do your own due diligence and look at it. Lead executive producer on that shit is her. This is your MCU version of KK. Told you, every one of these studios has one in that position. Every one of them. And every time you see this goofy shit happening, you should actually ask yourself, who the fuck is behind this? Because all of this stuff, understandably, is not just the actors and the writers and the directors. No, they get thrown to the wolves regularly because those are the people that you see. That's the carrot and the red meat dangling in your face, so you go and attack that shit. And then the person behind the scenes goes and makes 3 more fucking projects with this same mentality because they're the ones who are hiring these people. Take what you've learned about me talking about this Star Wars stuff and how it breaks down to this. What's the producer's job? To hire the writers, the directors, special effects houses, all that shit, and get the show made. They provide the money to do this shit. And they are losing money doing this shit. Think about it for a minute. It's like people getting all worked up about who's sitting in the seat for the presidency. Don't fucking matter, does it? The people behind the president, the cabinet, senators, and legislators and stuff like that never changes. What fucking difference does it make who sits in the seat? I've said this many a times. It's the fucking hood ornament on the front of the car. Do you think it's running shit just because it's out front? No. Not at all. It just looks nice. It lets people know you're coming. The real problem, the real issue is with the people behind the scenes who you don't always see and you don't always know their fucking name, especially if you don't read fucking credits. And the only thing I've seen, and shout out to Aquateki, mediocrity by committee is a good term. You better be writing these down, Aquateki, because I might need to write them down. These are some good ones. You got some singers. The red meat that's been dangling out there for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks actually, has been the writer Jessica Gal's ass and the director who you don't see, who did some of the writing. You don't see her at all. But everybody is throwing this Jessica Gal chick out there. She's more famous than she's ever have been right now. You actually know her face. Why? Why? Why aren't we seeing the director's face? Why don't you know what Victoria Alonso looks like? Here's a quick one. This year, name the 2 shittiest writers in streaming series history right now. I bet you can name them. The other one might take you a little bit of time, but if I said Obi-Wan Kenobi, you'd guess the motherfucker's name right there, wouldn't you? What do these 2 shit-ass writers have in common, besides being shit-ass writers who don't know the material? What do they have in common? They were fucking finger puppets for somebody else's ideas and views. For Joby Harold, he fucking shit on Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker and took somebody else's actually good work and turned it into dog shit in space. This chick, Jessica Gal, has done the same thing with Chris Claremont and I'm forgetting his first name now. Keep wanting to say George Burns, and it's not that name. You guys know who I'm talking about. I'm just out bright for it. Haven't had my coffee yet, so that's probably why I'm calm. John Burns. But took their good work on a character, threw it into a show, and totally shitting on that character. Okay. At this point, I'm really curious to these 2 people are such shit writers. How the fuck did they get hired onto these big budget properties? How? At this rate, damn, any of us should have had a shot at doing this, right? But you didn't. You know why? Because you're not in that circle. You're not one of these shit-eating, ass-licking lampreys of this Hollywood social construct who are trying to get notoriety because they parrot whatever a fucking producer told them to put out. In the same mindset to prove to them, to their masters, I can be a good dog. Look, this is what you want to see, right? I can write that. I can write that for you. The self-inserts for SheHulk is so ridiculous because this is I don't want to keep calling her fucking chubby, but that's what you see every time they have her on a picture. They keep showing you that she's just a chubby Asian chick. Right? So let's put it this way. Westernized Asian person writing supposedly comedy, and an unnoticed chick writing her self-insert as Jennifer Walters. Every time you watch this show and you see that character, I told you guys this before, every time you watch this show and see Jennifer Walters saying and doing some cringe-worthy shit, this is what the writer wants to be doing, folks. That's who wants to be doing it. Why would Jennifer Walters give a fuck about Megan Thee Stallion? She wouldn't. You know who does? This Asian chick who want to be down with the black girls. She give a fuck about Megan Thee Stallion because nobody else does. I think we all black men in here. I didn't see a bunch of ones jumping up when I asked you, were you watching this shit because of Megan Thee Stallion? But maybe I'm talking to the wrong fucking crowd. Maybe this is for a younger audience. I don't think so. I don't think so. We can go ask our resident Z in this motherfucker. Truth. I don't think he was watching this for her, if he watched it at all. Because outside of it just being SheHulk, he probably wouldn't even want to check it out. Nobody on here is cute. For a young person, I think that matters. I'm still outside of fucking critics or female geeks who watch this shit to review it. I have not seen or heard of a female who's watching this show. I have actually tried to get some of my friends to get their wives to watch this show, and it's not happening. Not happening at all. It's nothing they're fucking interested in seeing. I know of one black female who would be watching the show. The other one who I think would watch this fucking show ain't watching it because of no fucking Megan Thee Stallion. That would be a turn off for her. So when I watched this episode and saw some of the stuff that was going on in it, it was just sad. It was just sad and disappointing to think that this is what I'm getting for a SheHulk show. This is the person who got to write this show. This is what the person who got to write this show is actually writing this character as and writing into the show because they thought it would be cool. And people keep telling me Ms. Marvel sucked. No. Ms. Marvel was exactly what it was supposed to be. A teenage girl's show. This SheHulk show, from the same studio, mind you. Different creative producers, though. One is an Arab woman that actually worked at Marvel Comics. One is an Asian woman who was just trying to get on. This is what she chose to put out there, which is supposed to be an adult woman in LA, which is actually more like a teenage fucking girl in a grown woman's body. Just wanting to be down. And doing everything, hitting every check mark box on the punch card to get down with that crew. They say they don't like men. I can show them I don't like men. They say they like this. I can show them I like this too. This is not creative. It's not creative. It's not actually. If you were reading this on paper, it wouldn't be a good fucking read. Let alone watching it on the show. This is just somebody wanting to be down. She might as well be out there singing like Brandy. This is some overlooked, unattractive fucking chick getting her chance to show what it means to, I can actually be somebody, and injecting it into this character, which is totally reversed of what the character was. Anybody who knew who She-Hulk was, and that I would think you'd be making this show for, can watch this within 10 minutes and say, this is not the character. Because everything is backwards. You tell me, how can I accept that Jennifer Walters is such a phenomenal attorney when you have a whole scene of her doing this law shit? Now, I've been in courtrooms. I've listened to attorneys give their stuff. And I think even a new attorney comes out a bit smoother than that. That's the whole point of, going over what you're going to say, right? That's the whole point of being a lawyer and being a trial lawyer. That makes trial lawyers look like they're really somebody because of the way they can think on their feet. This was just verbiage. That's all it was. Just verbiage. This motherfucker, it looks about the same self-insert as this writer. Put in a situation with a lot of money that you have to deliver, and you're fucking fumbling it. Jennifer Walters in this show, standing before a parole board, mind you, does a whole legal case. It's not how I understand the parole board process works. But I'm not a lawyer. Neither is the writer. I know a few lawyers. That ain't how this shit works. Exactly. So the self-insert for this is Jen being at the parole board, doing the hearing at the parole board, and fumbling and stumbling through all of this stuff. Is the writer actually inserting herself into this? And how she was fumbling and bumbling and mixing up her fucking words, probably sitting up there with Kevin Feige, Victoria Alonso, Louis Despacito, pitching them this fucking show. And that's the self-insert. I've never seen such an uninteresting ass fucking person in my life. Unremarkable and interesting. No problem. I am really not liking this character. I don't give a fuck about what's going on with this character. Because the character will always go back to saying something that's completely objectionable to somebody else, while claiming at the same time to be so put upon and so oppressed. Man, if you don't shut the fuck up, you entitled piece of shit. Smug, entitled piece of shit. I didn't catch a shot at the Manosphere, Beastly, but you have to put that in the chat and show me one, because look. Oh my god, really? Is that your very good and that's what you want to start? I think this is some of the most ridiculous stuff that I have seen in a while. And the black male goofiness continues. Every time I see an episode of somebody really being objectionably goofy, and that's, to me, I see a black face. I see a black male face. While you're getting them holding up what could be one of the fucking idols of the downfall of black female identity being held up in the show. The Grammy Award winning thing. Nigga, you say that shit like it means something. You say it like it means something. Saying that she's a Grammy Award winning artist and all the rest of this shit shows me how much a Grammy don't mean shit anymore. Doesn't mean anything. It is nothing that I need to be paying that much attention to now. Because what does she win for? WAP? You tell me. They heaping all this praise in the episode on this person just to be happy about the fact that they got the person in there. Well, why are they happy? Because they waiting on their fucking butter biscuit. They waiting on their diversity token to say, oh, you did good, girl. What that actually means is they don't actually give a fuck about black people. They don't. They're just trying to pander to black women so they can be down with the girls. Now, I'm still waiting for the funny parts in this show. I have not seen one yet. I didn't laugh at anything in this episode at all. Nothing. Nothing made me fucking laugh. And I was thinking about this when I started up the episode about how you can probably tell how much nobody has an idea of what they're doing with this show because the run times keep varying. From 38 to 30 to 34, the run times are all over the place in 3 episodes worth, right? So that leads me to believe that you don't have enough material. And obviously, you don't know how to fucking edit. And so, since your episodes vary from 30 to 38 minutes, you don't have enough material to fill out 38 minutes in each episode or 30 minutes in each episode. Well, what's the problem? It comes down to the writing. Or, like I was hearing this week, it comes down to how much they had to cut back and cut out of this shit because they were using CGI too much and it was costing a lot. Which is probably the first thing you would think about doing a show with a character who is primarily CG the whole fucking time. I think that would have been the first hurdle to figure out. Not the last one. Not, oh, well, we're making a show and they told us we got to cut stuff. Can we have more scenes without her being green? Then why the fuck did you pick this show where the character is green all the time? I don't get it. All right, Jerome. I see what you're saying in here about the Manosphere and the Red Bull. He called his office the Manosphere. I don't take that as a slight to the Manosphere at all, or the Red Bull being a Kevin Samuels thing. That's just colloquially what we understand about hearing sphere at the end of something and a Red Bull. Okay? I don't think that had anything to do with Kevin or the Manosphere at all. I don't. It's a popular thing in California that I noticed that no matter what news comes out, everybody tries to find a way to relate it to them. No, it's not. I ain't talking about the Manosphere. They're talking about men, but I ain't talking about the Manosphere. Do I think this goofy ass bitch know anything about the Manosphere? The black Manosphere specifically? No. But everybody drink Red Bull. Everybody except for me, as far as I know. Because I don't drink Red Bull. I don't need energy drinks to sit idle. I don't. That's kind of pointless. And as I know, the shit fucks with your heart. So I don't need that kind of help. My body does everything it's supposed to do naturally. And if I don't have enough fucking energy, then I need to put some stuff into it to help it produce more energy, or I need to work out more. Because it will do all of that stuff naturally, unless I fuck up the natural process by ingesting large amounts of energy drinks. And that's not a shot at anybody. That's just a fact. Now, what was, if you want me to get into the episode, what was cringe about the episode? The most obvious cringe that will drive everybody out of here as soon as they hear me say something about it is the fucking twerking. Because I do want to keep this short, and I'm already about at an hour. The twerking. Now, I don't know why any of us are surprised. Actually, thinking about it, I don't know why we're surprised. If you highlight the fact that you're going to have Megan Thee Stallion on the SheHulk show, and Megan Thee Stallion ain't known for doing shit but objectionable stuff, the fuck did you think you were going to see? Besides the most tame shit they can get away with, which is fucking twerking. Because apparently that's all black women are known for now. Being loud, brightly colored, and dropping your fucking ass like you at a strip club. And it's a rite of passage to show how down you are with sisters and how much you respect the strong black woman to be able to get out there and twerk with the sisters, and them to say, "You good, girl? Yeah, you go." What do you want, a fucking cookie? Great. We got the first MCU CGI character who's a fucking grown adult lawyer. Couldn't wait to be twerking with a sister. I will kill for you. Back up. Yeah, because you sound fucking crazy, you fucking fangirl. You sound like a teenage fucking fangirl, a 14-year-old goofball, totally idolizing another grown-ass woman who don't do shit but shake her ass and rhyme. Badly. And that's what you're putting up. That's what you're putting up. This is your material for I don't know how many millions they spent on this show. But this is what it is. This is where the millions went. To twerking. That's what you got her up there for? To twerk? No real lines. Just to twerk. And here's another question. Why the fuck is the head of Superhuman Law Division even signing contracts with a Megan the fucking Stallion as a client? She ain't superhuman. Twerking is not superhuman. Any girl with a back can do that shit. Ask Miley Cyrus. She ain't even got no ass. So why are you signing her on as a client? For what? Oh, I get it. It was just another made-up scene to have a reason to have Megan Thee Stallion in there further. Who's your first choice? Cardi B? Who? Who wasn't available? And that's why you fell back to Megan Thee Stallion. And I can say this, in that show, that's the best I ever seen Megan Thee Stallion look. And I don't even follow her. Just looking online at pictures like, ugh. No, brother, no. That was the best I seen her look. Like, oh shit, she didn't have many lines. Awesome. In and out the episode. Thank you. That's all we needed. There's only one P. Thank God for that. Now we don't have to suffer through it multiple fucking times. You right in LA, what happened? You couldn't get Kim Kardashian? She wouldn't show up on your shitty ass show? You in LA after all, right? Being a lawyer? With a lawyer dating some chicks? I thought Kim was studying for the bar. It'd make more sense for another lawyer to try to date another lawyer instead of trying to date a hip-hop star. A pasty white boy with a big-ass black rapper? No. That don't even make sense. Even in LA. No, nigga. No. They're showing Megan as the face of feminism. She the face of something. I wouldn't say it was feminism. Toxic femininity, maybe. Not feminism. Megan Thee Stallion ain't no fucking feminist. She's not. Now, mind you, most of these people are not the shit they espouse. Some of them ain't even fucking feminists. They in the age group where this has been taught to them for so long, it's an indoctrination. They don't even actually know. If you went down at like a BGS with them on feminist tenets and shit like that, they couldn't tell you that shit. They couldn't. They just know it's what works and what sells to get them some open doors somewhere. That's why I said, I'm asking, what up, Charles? Why did Victoria Alonso hire this bitch? Why? Why did Kevin hire her? Because she go right up to Kevin, right? She always mentioned it's just Kevin. Then if it's just Kevin, why is Victoria Alonso's name on this shit? Because Kevin is the one who's going to take the blame for that shit. Just like Jessica Gal was the one who's going to take the blame for this shit. Because at the end of the day, with all this bullshit you're talking about men in this show, head of your studio is a man. And if you want to say that he's the one who gave you the fucking job, this is how you repay him. Because it's proof positive. The people who created the She-Hulk character and the one that's running this damn studio is all men. You bitches don't create shit. You only destroy it. You only destroy it. And that's what you're doing right now. With this character, with the MCU brand, all you're doing is destroying shit. Willingly, wantingly, to prove your allegiance to somebody else. This is like somebody's fucking audition tape. That's what I keep seeing this shit as. It's like you auditioning to get down with the crew. The crew of other feminists in fucking Hollywood. And you got to do your best impression of slandering all these men as you can to get on. That's why I think they keep having this bitch out there, front and center. So any slings and arrows going to her big ass. Where's your comments from Kevin Feige and stuff like that about what he feel about the show? Where's your comments from Victoria Alonso about how she feel about the show? Don't hear them. All you hear is this big bitch with her gullet open. If you're a writer, why do I want to hear you talk? I mean, it's useful. It's useful in a lot of ways. But as a writer, your voice speaks through what you write. Right? It means you have a fucking voice. You're a self-important, entitled, snarky little bitch with a prepubescent mind state and an understanding of the adult world. No matter how high you've elevated, you failed upwards. Copywritten. I mean, and now you're into the lofty position of writing a whole MCU show, and it's garbage. It's a show billed as a comedy that's not fucking funny. That is a feat. That is a fucking feat. Because I've watched movies that aren't supposed to be funny, that are not billed as comedies, that are funny. But I have yet, until now, watched a show billed as a comedy that's not funny. And I'm not even saying it's not just funny to me. I'm just saying it's not fucking funny, period. I don't give a fuck who's sitting there thinking they're laughing at this shit. Please tell me. Please tell me. Where was the joke? Where was the one-liner that just cinched it? I couldn't support this show, and I'm a carpenter. I build shit. I build, support, and make sure the foundations and things is firm. I couldn't support this show with that. Couldn't. Sorry about that. TD, they wouldn't have got Kim because they would have had to pay her for that shit. Just like they paid Megan ass for this shit. This ain't a favor for a favor. What audience you think Megan getting out of this shit? None. She just get to be said she was on a TV show. So fucking what? Now, just a reaction. I really don't feel like doing a play-by-play of what was objectionable in this episode. I'll talk about that shit on a Sunday. Make y'all pay for it, because I don't think anybody has hit the Cash App on this shit yet anyway. So you'll get my fucking impressions. But It was a waste. It was a waste of an episode. The Wrecking Crew showing up at the end in LA was also wasted. That was also a waste. Regardless of how silly they look, I'm kind of cool with the Wrecking Crew. I am. Kind of cool with the Wrecking Crew. They look like some broke-ass village people in this shit, and it's just to make a goof out of them. They look just as goofy as that tracksuit mafia in Hong Kong. They look just as goofy. A bunch of people with superpower weapons supposed to be criminals, but they goofy and bumbling as fuck. This is their view of men. You know, if people were actually this dumb, it'd be a lot easier to catch them. It wouldn't look up this way to find, I don't know, Asgardian weapons. It wouldn't be smart enough to get a hold of that shit. I don't think the men in this show are portrayed any kind of way well. Only ones they haven't fucked up was Abomination to a degree, Wong a little bit. Dude Pug, I guess he's the only competent lawyer in any of this shit, because even the boss at GLK and H keep walking like, all he do is walk around fucking shocked and turning his back and walking away. That is not the way the leader acts. If I see some objectionable shit happening in my fucking office, I'm in there to see what the fuck is going on. I'm not going back the other way. Like, oh, let me just... No, nigga. What the fuck is going on over here? What is this shit? No. What the fuck is that? A space warning? No. So, TD, you know why Kim don't twerk? Because Kim know how to grind. That's why she got babies. Because she don't push her ass out, she push her coochie forward. She ain't into the tease. So, this is a low, callow ass fucking show. Low as fuck. Uninteresting to a passerby. If you were just watching this shit just to see what it was all about, you would probably come up with the same idea that anybody else who knows anything about this character came up to. This was nothing. This was silly. And not in a good way. Best thing and the worst thing I saw in this show was the paralegal stretched out, sitting in the fucking window at the office like that's what paralegals do, I guess. And saying she put a thirst trap picture out to Wong to get his attention of her with some books. So you mean you telling me Wong is a dude who's just hard up for fucking chicks and some Latina with too much makeup on her face could catch him with a picture and some books? This means you think men are that fucking low and stupid. Look, there's only one group of people that is on this planet that are that goddamn superficial, and it's American westernized women. You know why? Because there's a whole beauty industry built on your superficial asses of being concerned with what you look like. That's why, I wouldn't say Twitter, Instagram. Well, let's back it up and just say it this way. That's why I thought is even a word, is even a thing because y'all love looking at your fucking selves. And you spend so much time staring at yourself, you think that's the goddamn world. And that everybody else wants to stare at you too. That what you have is somewhat special in a sense that no other woman on the planet has it. No. That's why this shit sells to you. Instagram, TikTok, and all that shit. All you need is a camera to perform in front of, and you will perform doing whatever the fuck. Good, bad, raunchy, incestuous, disgusting, degenerate, it don't fucking matter. All you need to do is put a camera up and some bitch will jump up and perform. Thinking that everybody just want to see what you're doing. So apparently, the Sorcerer Supreme, Wong, who's been in Carmitage for a long time, is hard up and beating it off. That he needed to be attracted to some chick with a thirst trap picture with books. So this is the level. This is the level of the writer's understanding about men and what attracts men. And how somebody of this caliber would be attracted. Like I said, and people say Ms. Marvel was bad. No, Ms. Marvel was actually well fucking done, especially compared to this shit. Because Ms. Marvel wasn't having teenage girl antics like these grown ass fucking women in a law firm are supposed to be having. Juvenile. That's what this shit reads like. Juvenile. Below my attention to be watching. It'd be like dating a fucking teenager. Like, why are you doing that? Yuck. There is nothing to talk about. Because Megan Thee Stallion is what they idolize. Tells you where their mentality is and how young-minded they fucking are. Motherfucker got a whole multiverse to be looking after, but I need to think that he was worried. He got caught by a picture on the internet. One chick out of the billions on the planet caught him. So that's my reaction to watching this episode. Do I look happy? Do I look impressed? Do I look like the shit was good? Fuck no, it wasn't. And no, I'm not. And since this is like the culmination of such bad fucking television right now, I'm going to go back and finish watching Westeros. I'm going to go back to Game of Thrones, some actually good show. And just as a little spicy, just to spice it up a little bit later today, I'm going to watch some actual fucking comedy. That's good. I might binge on something else that's more entertaining. Maybe I'll go back and binge on Ally McBeal. Because they need to stop saying this shit. This show ain't shit like no goddamn Ally McBeal. You're disrespecting the idea of fucking Ally McBeal with that shit. This stuff ain't even as good as Insecure. So that's my 2 cents on that. I'm an hour and 11 minutes in. I have not heard this Cash App go off one time. So I said my piece on it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like, share, subscribe. Support the stream if you feel so inclined. Look, you can not think about this episode. You could have watched it and you could forget about it in the same 35 minutes. Same 35 minutes. SheHulk twerking. Great. Now SheHulk is a ratchet. Just what I needed to fucking know. Just what I needed to know. She part of the Ratchet Republic. Awesome. Kang ain't retconning shit. Kang is not retconning shit. That's what you hoping for. Kang is not a retcon. Kang is just an introduction of another villain in possible realities. Get you into the multiverse and get the rest of these characters to show up. Told you that years ago. The multiverse is a way to many doors and a way to introduce all these characters that they got back. That has nothing to do with necessarily Kang. You just need somebody to be a catalyst for an event. Secret Wars is the event. Kang is the appetizer to that event. That's all it is. Secret Wars is a restart. So, you got another phase to get through before you get there. So, that's it. I said my piece on that. I'll probably say more on Sunday, Shop Talk Live. But after watching it just now, that's all I got. I'm not giving this no energy. I'm not. I really am not giving it any energy. I'm not looking forward to seeing the next episode. I'm mad that this was the first thing I saw this morning. I'm mad that I watched this first. Because I put it off all yesterday. But I went ahead and I need to watch this. Let me just go ahead and watch this shit. I could have not. Because I would have got just as much out of that doing it that way. Now, I'm going to go back and listen to everybody else's reviews on this third episode of what they thought was so awesome about the episode. Get the fuck out of here. But I know why you say it. Access is a motherfucker. And however little, many people don't want to give up that access by saying this was actually a piece of shit. Little access is better than no access. So, I get it. I know what it is. I understand. I don't have access. So I can say it was shit. Can stand on the fact that it was shit. And why it was shit. Because it pitches to the lowest common denominator that I am not fucking interested in at all. And it does no service to the character. It does no service to the world. It's badly written. And people are depicted terribly in it. So I'm going to go back and watch something that's actually written well. Characters with a good depiction. Respect for the world. And we don't degrade the characters. At least till maybe season 8. I will dwell in that good space for a while. Because I opened up my world today to some bullshit. Green or otherwise. So I'm artisanmc. That is my reaction to SheHulk episode 3. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. Click the bell because I go live randomly during the week. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.